Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you like this episode, please remember to hit the like button and leave a comment or two, then subscribe and click on the bell to receive notifications of whenever we release new videos. Also, please remember to share them to your social media.
Welcome back to Scary Bear Attacks. Today's episode takes us to Hallsbrook Road in North Groton, New Hampshire. It is a small town tucked away in the woods about 50 miles north of Concord, and it's just south of the White Mountains. The rolling hills are around 1,300 feet in elevation and are covered with stands of pine, fir, and cedar, as well as elm, ash, maple, and birch trees. The mixed hardwood forests offer breathtaking views each fall, and their beautiful green leaves shade the forest floor all summer. Here white-tailed deer and moose mosey among the forests and meadows, as bobcats, coyotes, and black bears stalk the trails and shadows. The black bears stalk much more than the shadows around North Groton. They've been known to stalk the decks, patios, and backyards of residents, especially of those who have bird feeders. Not only are they known to be fond of bird food, but they also approach some homes that have dog or cat food left outside. Local television stations have interviewed residents who have observed bears on their decks and through patio doors. Some of them have indicated that they take in their bird feeders each night to make sure the bears aren't encouraged to come around. April Rodgers was a retired 71-year-old woman who lived by herself off of Hallsbrook Road. Her health had taken a hit the last few months, and she had been relegated to a wheelchair while she recovered. Due to limited mobility, she sometimes had a hard time taking care of things around her house. On the side of her home, she had a screen door that sometimes slipped her mind before she retired for the night. On the evening of July 16, 2018, April went to bed, leaving her door open, with the screen door shut to allow the cool air of the evening into her home. At around 1 a.m., April woke up to the sound of her pantry doors in the kitchen being opened and shut. She could hear shuffling across the floor and knew that she'd better check and see what was going on. As April rounded the kitchen corner, she saw an enormous black bear standing at her kitchen counter, facing her cupboards as it searched for food. She was immediately terrified and decided to yell at the bear to scare it away. Being familiar with local bears and having never had one wait around long enough to concern her, she expected it to flee in panic at her presence. After April yelled at the bear, it turned and looked at her, and slowly stepped in her direction. She knew she had to remain calm, so that her heart wasn't stressed out. She approached a kitchen chair and sat down, lifting her hands to the side of her head to help her calm herself. That is when the black bear did something very unusual. April was only a few yards from him, and he took a few steps across her kitchen and sat down right in front of her. She was surprised to see the bear do this, but was just as confused when it started to swing its head from side to side. April started to pick up on the idea that the bear was very tense and anxious with her presence. As the bear's head swung to the left, April's vision was filled with the sight of a massive bear paw with its claws sharply aimed, traveling toward her face too quickly for her to get out of the way. With a single swat of its massive paw, the bear sent April spilling onto the floor and into unconsciousness. When she came to, April knew that if she lay there, she would die from her wounds. She scrambled across the floor of her kitchen in search of her phone as blood poured from her head and face. April dialed 911 at 1:15 a.m. and contacted emergency services, who dispatched a police officer and an ambulance to her location. While she was on the phone, the bear dashed from room to room, looking for a way out. April screamed at the bear, hoping it would drive the bear away from her and her home. Only a few minutes after the bear squeezed out the screen door, April heard a knock at the front entrance. The authorities had arrived just after the bear had fled her home and escaped into the woods. First responders could see the left side of her face deeply gashed along her cheek, jaw, and scalp. The injuries they could not see, and would later be revealed by X-ray examination at Spear Hospital in Plymouth, were that April's neck and facial bones had also been shattered. This revelation led to her being transferred to Dartmouth-Hitchcock Medical Center for more intensive medical support. By around 10 a.m., she was undergoing the first of several surgeries to treat her wounds and fractures, with the initial surgery lasting for 6 hours. In only 2 swipes from its powerful paws, the bear almost tore April's left side of her face off, eventually costing her left eye, which was surgically removed in a later operation. Following her attack, authorities launched an extensive search for the brazen and dangerous bear. They were concerned it may decide to attack another person, or that it may have rabies. Canine teams were brought to April's property to track down the bear, but a heavy rainstorm washed away the scent trail, preventing the apprehension and identification of the aggressive bear. April stated that she was happy that the bear wasn't apprehended and euthanized. She commented that the bear was just being a bear, and all she wanted to do was to return to her home to heal. After April's home invasion and attack, New Hampshire Fish and Game officials issued incredible statements. They stated that they weren't considering the incident a bear attack because the bear wasn't necessarily acting aggressively. Astoundingly, they claimed it was just a case of April being at the wrong place at the wrong time. I have to ask, if a human is in their home and runs into a bear invading their home in search of food, how can this be misconstrued as the person being in the wrong place at the wrong time? It is a logic that defies reason, in my opinion. In an amazing counter to hazing programs, projects like the New Hampshire Wildlife Coalition have issued flyers on how residents can report hound hunters pursuing bears in the pursuit season, which runs from July 1st through the end of August. Bear take or harvest season starts September 1st and extends through November 9th. The coalition advises residents on understandable issues like preventing trespassing on private property, but neglects to note that bears do not respect private property signs, and hounds can't read, so neither bears nor hounds will change their intrusive behavior because of posted signs. They do not offer a caution to landowners to avoid setting out bird feeders or other attractants to keep from drawing bears to private property in the first place. I've linked to the information in the video article below for your consideration. After reviewing the facts surrounding this episode, I'm left with a few questions for you. Why did the bear sit down next to April and wave its head back and forth before swatting her? Did the bear consider April competition for its food supply, or was it defending itself from what it viewed as a threat? What more could April have done to avoid this attack? Would you be brave enough to confront a noise from your kitchen at 1 a.m.? April is braver than I am, there's no doubt about that. I'll gladly read and reply to your thoughts, so please post them in the comments section below, and let's talk about it.
Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider clicking on the like button and clicking on the bell icon. We'll help you know when we post our new episodes. Posting our video links to your social media profiles furthers awareness, and it's fun. We slashed our prices in our merch store, linked below, so check out the bargains there while you shop. As a member of our human community, remember to adventure bravely and be careful out there, especially in bear country.